The movie kicks off with reporter Terry rushing to a breaking news scene, urgently calling her channel to go live. She arrives at the location and reports that a security breach last night has triggered the activation of the Brimstone Protocol. Her colleagues are buzzing with curiosity, speculating what could have caused this second activation of the protocol, especially in the aftermath of the devastating Chromosin pandemic. This pandemic was the worst in human history, bringing the dead back to life and sparking a brutal war between the living and the undead, resulting in over 2 billion casualties. Terry mentions that the zombies from the pandemic are still confined to a small island resort, where the wealthy pay to hunt the undead. They note that there has been no official statement from the resort's parent company and wonder about its elusive CEO, Valerie Wilton. An employee from her company reveals they are awaiting her response and describes her as a savior, providing jobs by keeping the undead contained. Terry adds that the army has ordered the clearance of the airport and a nearby camp owned by an organization called Hope for You to prevent any virus outbreaks. The scene then shifts to Mel, who is waiting for people to join a support group, nervously clutching a ticket to the resort. When a woman arrives asking if she's there for the post-apocalyptic support group, Mel lies and leaves abruptly. She meets her boyfriend, Lewis, and confides in him about her plan to visit the resort to confront her fear of the undead. She worries that her mental state might drive him away, but Lewis reassures her that he will stand by her. Later that night, Mel wakes from a nightmare, and as Lewis comforts her, she asks him what it's like to kill zombies. He responds that it's generally a satisfying experience. After he falls asleep, Mel watches the last video of her father, remembering his advice to stay strong. The next day, they arrive at the airport and are directed to a waiting area where a group of wealthy investors are discussing Valerie's business strategies for the resort. Suddenly, two young boys, Alfie and Jack, appear, distracted by a young woman named Sadie standing nearby. The bartender questions her about traveling alone, and she opens up about how her fiancé dumped her. Meanwhile, Mel notices a little girl calling her. As Mel approaches, the girl shows her a teddy bear, but her mother quickly takes her back to the camp. After some time, Mel and the other guests arrive at the resort, where a mysterious figure named Archer joins them. Mel and Lewis are shown to their rooms and are soon summoned for orientation. Jack and Alfie enjoy their shooting training session, and then it's Mel and Lewis's turn. The trainer offers help, but Lewis steps in and guides Mel in shooting the fake zombie target. Despite her fear, she nails the shot and tells Lewis she enjoyed the experience. In the evening, everyone gathers around the pool, and Lewis notices Mel is having a good time. As Valerie's arrival is announced, Sadie sneaks into the building. Valerie addresses the crowd, saying the apocalypse has given them stories that brought them here. Archer, unimpressed, walks away. As Valerie continues her speech, a zombie is brought out. She taunts it arrogantly, telling her wealthy guests that it's their turn to have fun. After Valerie leaves the stage, Sadie accesses the resort's control center, types some codes, and downloads files. Archer spots her and keeps an eye on her. At the control center, Salva and his friend Tate notice corrupt files. Tate wants to report the error to Valerie, but Salva insists they'll fix it secretly. Meanwhile, Lewis, Mel, and the other guests are guided to their vehicles. Valerie arrives and orders the doors to be opened. Alfie and Jack are thrilled as the cars depart. Afterward, Salva secures the facility, but Valerie notices system lags. Salva reveals the issue, and Valerie orders him to fix it. On the road, Mel's guide, Nevins, explains the rules, emphasizing the critical shoot in the head to kill the undead. As they move ahead, he points out another group killing zombies. The rich investors revel in their zombie-killing adventure, both individually and in groups. Nevins leads his passengers to a shooting spot and hands them their weapons. Alfie and Jack enjoy themselves but miss every target, while Lewis impresses everyone with his perfect aim. He hands his gun to Mel, asking her to take a shot. Hesitant, she aims but can't pull the trigger when the zombie looks at her. Moments later, Archer starts a killing spree with his sniper, beginning with the zombie Mel spared. Everyone is awed by his accuracy. At the control center, Valerie catches Salva flirting and orders Tate to run a full diagnostic to find the issue. Meanwhile, Nevins takes Mel and her group to the camp location. After setting up, Mel feels she's wasting money since she couldn't kill a zombie, but Lewis reassures her. Archer asks Sadie why she didn't shoot any zombies, and she reveals she's here for the beauty, not the killing. That was her ex's thing. Jack and Alfie, who won their spots by winning an online gaming competition, try to hit on her, but Sadie remains unimpressed. Salva and Tate inform Valerie that someone accessed their system last night and injected a virus. As she investigates, the systems malfunction, and Salva and Tate scramble to fix it. Valerie orders them to alert the cars. Meanwhile, a rich investor stops by a zombie to pee on it, and alarms blare as the zombie's collar starts to unlock. Salva regains control just in time, but the virus soon takes over, unleashing all the zombies and putting everyone at risk. A zombie approaches the investors, but their guide, Mikey, takes it down. Another zombie gets one of them, prompting a hasty retreat. Chaos ensues as zombies overrun the resort, massacring the guests. Salva attempts to override the virus but fails and tries to flee. Zombies kill him at the door and quickly take over the control center. Valerie watches in horror as everyone dies and the zombies spot her hiding. She rushes to her room, killing Tate at the door to secure herself. Meanwhile, Mel approaches Sadie, who asks if Mel is here on a doctor's orders. To get well, kill the undead? Mel smiles, revealing she's here by choice. They chat, and Mel shares how she watched her father turn into a zombie. Their conversation is interrupted when a zombie arrives. Mel asks Sadie to shoot the approaching zombie, but she freezes. Archer steps in and saves them, prompting Nevins to wonder how the zombies got so close. He switches on the lights, revealing a horde headed their way. The girls run to hide while the men fight off the zombies. When Archer runs out of bullets, he asks Mel to fetch a magazine. As she does, a zombie grabs her, but Sadie saves her life. The girls suggest climbing on top of the truck for safety. They all get up, but Alfie is overwhelmed by zombies and killed. Jack is shaken by his friend's death, but they manage to kill all the zombies. Archer learns from Nevins that the Brimstone Protocol has been activated, advising them to head to the boats. Archer walks away, and the others think he's crazy. Mel suggests a shortcut, and Nevins finds a route that leads to an underground passage from a communication relay to the boats. They are surprised when Archer returns, urging them not to waste time. The next morning, Archer senses danger and stops the group, infuriating Lewis, who questions Archer's leadership. Archer retorts that they made him the leader by following him. As they proceed, a zombie attacks Jack, but Nevins saves him, only to discover that his friend Mikey has turned into a zombie. They find Mikey's car and an opening to safety. Archer helps everyone through, but when he gets trapped, Nevins saves him and gets bitten in the process. Lewis shoots Nevins without hesitation, angering Mel. As they move forward, Mel refuses to talk to Lewis, but Archer explains that Nevins was turning, and Lewis acted to protect her. Jack finds the communication relay, and before they head towards it, Archer warns Sadie to stay alert or be left behind. Everyone is shocked, and Archer urges them to question her actions the previous night. Under pressure, Sadie admits she downloaded files from the security system and typed in codes. Jack explodes, accusing Sadie of injecting a virus into the systems. When blamed for all the deaths, Sadie insists she had no idea. They continue their journey and enter abandoned buildings once used to store the undead. As they explore, Mel spots zombies and hides. Archer discovers a horde surrounding the building. He crosses to the other side and calls the others, but Sadie and Jack get trapped. Archer guides them to an alternate route. Archer and his group reach the relay, and Lewis tries to rush ahead, but Mel stops him, reminding him about Jack and Sadie. Meanwhile, Sadie finds Jack scared. As she moves to help him, a zombie attacks, but she kills it. They reach a spot with a bound zombie. Sadie crosses safely, but when it's Jack's turn, the zombie wakes and grabs him. Sadie rescues him but then reveals a bite on her arm. She passes a USB to Jack and faces the approaching zombies alone. Archer's group sees Jack running with zombies on his tail and saves him just in time. When asked about Sadie, he shows the USB and cries. They enter the relay but find the exit door locked. Lewis suggests an alternate route. They enter a dark room and, after wandering, notice cattle runs and wonder what's happening. Sensing danger, they rush out and enter a section where heaters light up. They pass through and reach a safe room, but a zombie bites Jack's neck. Archer saves him, but it's too late. Mel tries to comfort Jack in his final moments, but Archer steps in and kills him to prevent his turning. In the next block, they find refugees' belongings and realize that Valerie has been creating new zombies to keep the island running. When asked about the ovens, Archer explains that they are used for aging the zombies. Soon, the little girl Mel encountered at the airport appears, now transformed. As she screams, a horde of zombies rushes towards Archer, Mel, and Lewis. They manage to find safety behind a door. Mel and Archer struggle to keep it closed and call for Lewis's help, but he flees. Archer convinces Mel to escape, promising to follow her. As she reaches safety, Archer sacrifices himself, urging her to reveal the contents of Sadie's USB to the world. Meanwhile, Sadie wanders into a hotel room, stealthily avoiding zombies. Lewis reappears, apologizing and showing her his wound. Mel points her gun at him but can't bring herself to shoot. She hands him the gun and takes another from a dead girl's hands. Entering the control center, she senses a zombie approaching but is saved by Valerie. Valerie outlines a plan to distract the zombies and escape the building, but Mel accuses her of being worse than the animals. As they struggle over the gun, zombies break in and kill Valerie. Mel seizes the opportunity to rush out, with the zombies hot on her heels. Drones arrive to destroy the island, but Mel manages to jump into the water and is miraculously rescued. 3 weeks later, news reports reveal that Mel is not the sole survivor of the incident. The camera shifts to Archer, who is alive and listening to the news. He smiles at Mel's statement blaming everyone for the outbreak on the island and warning of a future outbreak. Terry reports on the potential fallout for the Hope For You organization when she spots a large number of zombies emerging from the ocean, and the movie ends on this ominous note.